Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Friday, the 18th of October 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, look at the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, Flight Centre's share price fell more than 20% today and hit a near 12-month low after seemingly outlining a profit downgrade. The company noted airfare price deflation is impacting short-term total transaction values. I think that is a downgrade. It was easily the most notable mover on the ASX today, and it took other travel companies with it, including Corporate Travel Management and Web Travel Group. Among the large caps, it was the iron ore miners, BHP and Fortescue, that led the way down. That was on the back of lower iron ore prices. By the end of the day, the S&P ASX 200 finished down nearly 1% to 8,283 points for the week. It closed up 0.8%, having hit a new record high. Story number 2, Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers came out fighting against claims from the opposition's employment spokesperson Michaelia Cash that the only reason the labour market is doing so well is public sector jobs. 70% of newly created jobs are in government-funded industries such as health and aged care. This week, the ABS said 61,000 jobs were created last month, and Dr. Chalmers said it was the first time ever in one parliamentary term, more than 1 million new jobs had been created. Today, he rejected the notion that it's only a real job if it's not in the care economy. He said he wants to see more jobs created in the private sector, but care economy jobs are real jobs. Story number 3, Regal Funds Management is one of the favoured wealth managers around the place at the moment, but not in Korea. That country's financial regulator has indicted Regal and one of its former employees over breaches of the nation's short selling laws. The funds management firm denies the allegations, which relate to trading on a single day back in 2019, though the news sent its share price down 3% today. The charges are part of a wide review of short selling practices undertaken by the Korean Financial Services Commission. Authorities imposed a temporary ban on short selling activity last November. It was recently extended until March next year. Story number 4, Israel overnight killed Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, the architect of last year's October 7 attack, which triggered the deadliest war in the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Troops appear to have run across him by accident and only later discovered that a body in the rubble was Israel's most wanted man. It's a severe blow to the Palestinian militant group and a symbolic victory to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Netanyahu said Mr. Sinwar's death was a victory of good over evil, but he added that the war hadn't ended and said Israel must keep up long-term control over the territory to ensure Hamas doesn't return. US President Joe Biden said the death was a good day for the world, calling it an opportunity to free the hostages and end the year-long war in Gaza. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese also welcomed Mr. Sinwar's death and again called for a ceasefire. In story number 5, gold hit a record high overnight as investors looked for safe haven assets. It pushed through $2,700 an ounce for the first time. Top of mind for many is the state of the US economy. Now, the good news is that retail sales in the US jumped by more than expected during September, but plenty of market watchers still fear that the Fed will need to quickly cut rates to stave off a recession. Meanwhile, iron ore prices tumbled on lingering doubts about how much Chinese officials will stimulate the world's second largest economy. They came as the Chinese growth figures were released. It showed that the world's second largest economy expanded by 4.6% over the past year, slightly better than forecasters expected, but it's still below Beijing's 5% goal. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 18th of October 2024. Michael Thompson, Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning with a weekend edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.